What is going on, world? This is the Bong Talk Sit-Down Series, and I'm your host, Nappy 2000. Let me give a shout out to the sponsors. Let me give a thank you to Bust Down Worldwide, Shrubs, El Toro Verde, Plain Jane, Happy Trees, Vacay. Shouts out to my people all the way in New York, Gas TV, C Major and Krista Glove Sweets, Turtle Pie Co., and Green Dog Cultivators. And also, let me show you what we got today, too. Can we show the people, Jerry, what we have today? We have today some gifts from Green Dog Cultivators. I want to say thank you. They gifted some D1 to me. We have at least a cool solid like 21 grams of D1, and it's a very good strain. So I appreciate them for, blessing the podcast, and we have more. Let's give a shout out to brothers too. I don't smoke tobacco products, but people that do. This is very, very, very good quality. I think it has about 3 or 4 leaves in it. So you can keep unwrapping it and unwrapping it and unwrapping it. And it's all in one. So shouts out to brothers. And this is called Donson Duds. So I appreciate everybody for just gifting the show and blessing the show. And today, we have a very, very special guest in the building. We have the prettiest nigga alive. We have a rock star in the building. We have a new human being in the building. We have the new and improved Indika Sam in the building.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, everybody. This is Bong Talk. I'm Nappy 2000. We'll be right back.
Crafted from the fires of dragons, chilled on the highest peaks of Everest, the Canagard is designed for perfection, using only the freshest herbs our planet has to offer, cultivated by years of experience. El Toro Verde, crisp, rich draw, slow resin burn. Be bold, be elegant, be the bull. El Toro Verde, you should be smoking.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting. You were talking about just like your evolution of just like where you're at right now.
Right.
And that's really cool because like you said, at some point, we really just have to transition into something new, into a new phase of life to be like, okay, I actually want to be this person now. I don't really want to like be. It's not like we were like a bad person.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's just like, yeah, I could do better.
Right.
So like, how was like that, that transition of just having a lifestyle switch? Because you are a rock star.
Oh yeah.
And you were doing rock star activities.
Right, for sure.
So yeah, talk about that.
So you know what? I still am a rock star.
Yeah, of course.
I think I just embrace being a rock star and realizing that being a rock star doesn't necessarily have to do with being high or being lit. It's more so of a mindset and just being a free spirit,
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like as being a free spirit, we're supposed to grow. We're supposed to grow out of things. Sometimes you have to pick something up to realize, okay, that's not for me anymore, so that you can become who you're becoming. And I feel like that's what it was with weed. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want to sit here and act like I won't hit a blunt. I will. If I want to hit a blunt, Indica's going to hit a blunt,
Yeah.
But for the most part, on a just normal day to day, I really don't even feel like I have to hit a blunt. Like, I just feel like I've just been so happy and just high off of life that it's just.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's so many other things that we can be so thankful for.
Right.
Especially like in this day and age, like we have to focus on what we can tangibly control and accept. And that's really cool that you've gotten to that point.
Thank you.
Because like you said, like I think about Steve-O when you said that, like you don't have to be a rock star. Because Steve-O was on some whole other shit. And now bro is like, I think he's vegan, maybe vegetarian.
Yeah.
He doesn't do any drugs now. He's just drinking water all the time.
Yeah.
So it's just really cool to see that because it's needed.
Yeah.
It's needed in life. So when did this happen?
And you know what? Even just to piggyback off of Steve-O, I
Yeah.
feel like sometimes when people are like super rocked out like that, it's also a lot that has to do with their mental health. Like maybe you're super rocked out because you're in a lot of pain and you're not realizing that some of these things are just to cope. And I feel like in a point in my life when I was still, before I started healing, I was using a lot of different ways to cope. I was popping pills. I was smoking weed. I was drinking. I was doing coke. I used to do a whole lot of, I done pick some stuff up and put it down, thank God. But I feel like when I started to heal and just care about myself and love myself more, that was where the door opened for me to walk through and leave certain things in the other room.
Yeah. Because looking on your page, it seems like you did take a time to yourself.
Definitely.
Was it like 3 years?
5.
5 years? I was like,
I know, right?
I was like, it's like, I know it was like somewhere. So 5 years.
5 years
of just, so from pandemic time till now. So was the pandemic in a way kind of like a blessing for you?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Right before the pandemic, I think was my biggest blessing because I got kicked out of my parents' home where I was living.
Yeah.
And when I was living with my dad, I was still super unhealed. I was the worst version of myself for sure. And so when he kicked me out, I was mad. I had a lot of animosity towards him. And then me having to be independent. And mind you, I had just got fired from a job I was working at, right?
Yeah.
Just got fired and just totaled my car. So I was just in the wrong. It was a lot of darkness over me and I knew it. Now looking back, I can see it. But in that moment, I didn't see it like that. But it was 1 year prior to the pandemic when I started to make this change. And then through the pandemic was when I realized that I don't need anything to be happy. I just need myself and I need God, and that's it.
Right.
And that was when I became the greatest version of myself.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm hella happy for you, yo.
Thank you.
That's really dope because not many people right now are getting to that point.
Yeah.
Like they really are just like giving up
Yeah.
or just accepting the fact that it's going to take a little bit of work to get that. And I know you don't mind the work to get to that point.
Not at all.
So doing all of that, like, I guess, would you say you had more so of a relationship with God when it came to that? Or was it kind of just working on your own time?
So before I got kicked out, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like when I was like heavy on the scene, when I was like first, I guess, getting all the clout that I have, going on tour with the Kid and Dex back in 2016.
Little B,
doing
songs,
all the things like that.
Yep.
I didn't have a relationship with God, and it's crazy how things transpire. And I see why I was so popular so fast, and it was because of that lack of relationship. But that's a whole nother topic for another day.
Yeah.
But so I was in all these rooms, but it was a lot of darkness in the rooms. But I'm in the rooms, and I kind of just separated myself from a lot of that. When I got kicked out of my dad's house, that honestly was a big setback for me. But at the same time, that's what progressed me mentally. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I know definitely you lost some quote unquote friends or associates during this process that you thought were cool.
But you know what?
Yeah.
Truthfully, anybody that was removed from my journey is never a loss.
Beautiful.
I feel like sometimes you meet people on the same path, but you guys aren't going to the same destination.
Yeah.
So it's never hate. Everybody that I know in the industry, if I seen them right now outside, anybody that I know from the past, we'll give each other a hug.
Yeah.
It's love, it's peace, but my mindset is so different. I wouldn't even want to be in certain atmospheres. I'm still welcomed in them.
But there's no need to be there.
There's no need to be.
Your energy's not even on that type
It's not on that type of time.
Yeah.
I'm angelic. I don't need to be in a demonic world where I'm just going to be getting attacked. It's just different things. So I kind of go my own route.
Yeah. Because it is interesting you said that, because if you do tap into that side, you do get invited more into these rooms, because that energy sometimes is just usually the main domain of what you're doing or what you're associating with.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting how when you separate yourself, you realize how dark it really was.
It's like all the drugs, all these things, and all these things that I seen with my own eyes. It's like, oh, hell nah. Me now would never go in these rooms. But back then, I didn't have God in my heart. And I'm just like, I was at a point in my life where like, I had a lot of trauma from my childhood between my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I just had a lot of rejection in me. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't care about myself. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind being around people doing this and doing that. As long as it don't involve me, I don't care.
Yeah.
But now I just have a bigger heart just towards humanity. So I wouldn't even want to be in certain atmospheres.
Yeah. That's great. That's great. We need more people to have more heart for humanity at this
Definitely.
point in the
Yeah.
game for sure. And I guess through like that 2025 hibernation, what were some like the main things you probably learned about yourself? I guess more so as a human, more than just an artist. You know what I mean?
I learned how strong I am. I learned how strong I am just as an individual, just through going through so much. And then I also realized that I'm a really grateful person. Taking away everything from me didn't make me crumble. It actually made me more appreciative of life itself.
Yeah.
So I feel like I just got to know myself on a different level. Because before, it was me.
Was there less appreciation for life, you would say? Kind of like on a whim
Previous.
type shit? Yeah.
Definitely. Because come on, I'm on tour with Dex while he's the biggest in his career, Rich the Kid. I didn't give a damn.
We've seen what happened to famous Dex, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Man.
No, seriously, unfortunately.
So being around that, you can. Yeah.
That's true.
But it's a process, though. You know what I mean? It's all a part of the artist's journey. I mean, you wouldn't be who you are if you didn't have those experiences.
Yeah, for sure. And even with Dex, one thing that I can say about him, just like knowing him personally, as much as the media paints him to be like a junkie, he's really not like that in real life. He's not. He might have his moments, but I was homeless and he let me stay with him. It wasn't like no weird stuff. Everyone knows, what I do in my personal life. Oh, she doesn't, he knew it was his girl, his brother, his family living with him. He knew I was homeless. He took me in, barely knew me, took me on tour, brought me around. And through him, I learned so much structure. Like he gets up at the same time every morning, cleans his whole house. We would shoot a music video. He would fly Cole Bennett out. We would all just shoot a music video every day. It was
him
business.
And Little Tracy were dropping shit crazy.
Yeah,
I do remember this. I do remember this.
Yeah.
So no, that's really cool because that's unfortunate because I mean when you get to a certain point, people only want to paint like your truly low moments. Because when I seen it, I'm like, there's no way bro is just living life like this every single day. You can't. I'm like, you just caught him just on a really bad night.
His mom died. And
I
feel
you know
like
what I'm saying? Like,
his mom dying, because I didn't know his mom. I met his dad once and I know his brothers. And yeah, they're all really family oriented. Like he's a good person. Like I feel like I said, the media shows him in one light, but if you met him in real life, he's a cool dude,
Yeah.
When he was in his prime of his career, he gave me a free feature. He was charging everybody $5,000-$6,000, gave me a free feature, took me on tour with him and Rich the Kid, put me in rooms with like Little Uzi, just anybody you can name right now.
Yeah.
For nothing. For free, all for free.
And I see you doing that for other artists in your career as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it all the give back and the reciprocation always comes back to you full.
Yeah.
So talk about you doing that for artists because I mean you're a big artist yourself and you put in a lot of work. So talk about you giving back and just helping artists like that as well. Yeah,
I love helping people. I feel like it's all a revolving door. When you do it, it looks like a revolving door, but that shouldn't really be the mindset. I think when I do things, it's always from the heart. Yeah. So if I do something for an artist, it's because I genuinely feel a tug in my heart. It's God telling me, help this person out.
Yeah.
And I want to see that person prosper, not because I want them to get on and be like, hey, Indika, come. It's because I want them to win, It's enough money. It's enough shine for everybody. It's not that deep,
It's not that deep.
It's not that deep. People be out here just acting weird. Just, I want to be the big boss and everybody under me. But that doesn't get you far,
No, you need a team.
You do.
Need a team. I'm like, the ego can only take you so far.
Yeah.
Real quick, y'all, my bad. She doesn't smoke, but I'm going to take a quick one real quick. 1 second. Making your music now, you obviously were talking about different things at a different time, when you were doing certain things. So making your music now, because on all your posts, it all says 2025, new music. New music. So what is like the format? What are we talking about now?
Oh, it's a
in
whole
this
new
music. You know what
rollout.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? What's going on in your head with this?
Okay, so 2025. So I've been signed. So, okay, 2019 hit.
Yeah.
I'm around all these people in the industry. I start making connections, just people that A&Rs. I work for Capitol Records, just all types of connections. So in the same week, I'm not gonna name one artist, but he's in the industry now, just because we're still working and I don't really discuss certain things. So it was one artist trying to sign me. I had Quality Control.
Okay.
And then the label that I ended up signing with.
Okay.
And so that was all. When I tell you, I was literally homeless, couch surfing, and in the same month, 3 different people trying to sign me in the same moment. So I ended up getting signed, and I was signed for 4 years. I put out a music video. I put out a few videos. I did the song with Lil B.
Yep. I love that song.
Yeah. Shout out Lil B.
Yeah,
Lil B is a game, man. I love, you know what? Let me just give him his moment real quick. Because you know what's crazy? I wrote Lil B in 2012. I've always loved Lil B since I was a kid, bro. I grew up on Lil B.
Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wait. So I wrote Lil B like on Twitter.
Yeah.
Long paragraph. I'm not a groupie, but I love your music. One day we're going to work. Literally, fast forward to 2020. He DMs me on Instagram. You're a legend. We end up doing a song. All off the rip. He DMs me. You're a legend. We keep talking back and forth. He gives me his phone number. Next thing you know, we're talking. We do the song. He's so real. Man, I could show you real quick. He's so real. He recorded the verse and didn't even mix it. He sent me his raw vocals. That's love. That's respect. Artists don't do that.
You can do anything with it.
I can do anything with it. He sent me his raw vocals.
People don't understand. Like, people could talk shit about Lil B all they want, but from 2009 to we can go back to the pack, but from 2009 to at least 2016.
Yeah.
Lil B was dropping how many mixtapes a month? Like at least this nigga was dropping at least 10 mixtapes a month.
Yeah.
Maybe even 15.
All slaps.
All
All slaps.
All slaps.
Songs don't even make sense, but all slaps. He's a legend. And the crazy part is he doesn't even have to drop anymore and he's still a legend.
He really is.
That's crazy.
He was a legend to the point to where he was on ESPN.
I didn't even know that. No.
Indika. Yo,
I did not know that.
Bro put a curse on KD.
Okay, I heard about that. I didn't know that.
And this nigga wasn't winning anything.
I heard about the
he
curse.
Put a curse on someone else. They weren't winning anything.
He's crazy.
And then they said, Little B. They on the show, they're like, Little B, can you like lift the curse? Lifted the curse. KD went to the Warriors. The rest is history.
Wow. Okay, so never get on Little B's bad side.
Never get on Little B.
Yeah.
You will get cursed.
That's crazy.
No, Little B is that guy. He was my favorite. Little B and Soulja Boy were my favorite rappers at one point.
That's what's up. Yeah, I fuck with Soulja Boy too.
Yeah. I don't care what people say about Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy a legend.
Right. And that's how it is with most of these artists. I feel like if Soulja Boy honestly just stopped doing music because he's still putting out the mixtapes, he would be appreciated so much more. I feel like sometimes when you're an artist, once you reach a legendary status, you don't got to do too much more in that realm. Start doing movies or something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or just start just being like Little B, rare and bass, to where it's like people still worship you for no reason, you know? Like Soulja Boy, I really feel like if he stopped doing music, like people would stop playing with him because he really was that and he still is.
Yeah, he was. Because that's like Andre 3000.
Yeah.
He was like, man, he's like, I'm too old, low-key, to be rapping about this. Like, I'm just going to play my flute.
Yeah, that's tight.
And I love those albums.
Yeah.
And the titles that he has for these songs are crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So it's cool.
Oh, he makes songs in his flute and puts them out?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
I didn't know that.
2 albums, 3 albums.
Really?
For real? Yo.
I knew about the flute because I seen a picture of him at the park, but I didn't know he was dropping albums.
He's doing shows.
No lyrics, just the flute?
Just the flute.
Wow.
Just the flute. And like the titles are like hella long.
Evolution.
It'll be like, I did acid in Hawaii and I heard a jaguar purring.
Oh, this nigga's lit.
And you hear like the flute, and in the background you just hear like a purring of a jaguar.
Oh, he's on some shrooms or something right now.
You need to. It's a great project.
I'm gonna tune in.
Yeah, it's good. But like you said, though, I think the theme of this whole conversation is just evolution.
Evolution.
Evolution. Just you being in a whole different headspace and just being a
Thank you.
because when you told me that, like, that's amazing to hear,
Thank you.
because I know a lot of people who struggle with addiction
Yeah.
and you overcame that.
Yeah.
So what could you say, I guess, for people who are struggling with addiction? Like, what were some of the things that helped with your process in going about that?
My faith in God.
Yeah.
I think my hardest addiction, because, you know, weed, even though people say weed's not addicting, let's stop lying to ourselves. Yes, the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Like, when
we
you smoke
smoke.
weed and then you stop smoking weed, you have an attitude. Like, you
Mhm.
know, we all go through it,
Mhm.
and you're not hungry. But I think my biggest addiction was cocaine. Like,
Yeah.
I was on that daily. Like, for me, that took me into such a dark place. It was like, in the beginning, it was such a happy place because, like, my upbringing, because of all the trauma, it had me in a shell. So when I started doing coke, I feel like it brought me out of my shell. It made me more upbeat. It made me want to talk. It made me talkative. It just made me feel like alive, like in such a crazy way. And I really liked it. And I just really gravitated to it. But then just as quick as it takes you high, it takes you low. And then I had to do more to get that same high that I used to just do one bump for, and now I'm having to do an 8-ball for.
Woo.
Yeah, bro. And the thing was, when I was doing coke, I already had money, so it's like, we're really doing it. Like, yeah. And I lived in a household. I had I lived in a 2-story crib, and I had roommates. We all had money, and we all did coke. 2 of the people sold coke. It was the worst atmosphere to ever pick a drug up.
You didn't even have to go out the house to get
Not
it.
even have to go out the house. We're literally sitting at the table, like this type of table, but a long family type, you know, dinner table, doing coke. Just plates in front of us. We're just passing the plate, smoking cigarettes at the table. It was a full-blown trap house. And, yeah, and so that oh my gosh, that got bad very, very quick. And I think and even during that time, because see, that was years ago. That was even before the industry stuff. So
this is what, like 20,
God.
what, like 16?
Before that.
2012?
Yeah, I was a kid.
Okay, high school?
Like right after high school.
Right after high school, yeah.
I was a kid doing coke, but super coked out. And yeah, I'll say anybody that's struggling with anything, it doesn't matter what it is. You just gotta value your life and realize that whatever you went through, whether it be like with your family, because with me it was family. It was a lot of pain from like rejection from my mom and my dad, but they're divorced. So it was like neither of them being there. God is there though.
Yeah.
So just remember that even in the dark times, God is there and he does love us and he wants the best for us and he understands what happened. And even though sometimes we can't understand why things have to happen the way they do, God has an ultimate plan for it. So just see it through. Put the drugs down though. Don't see the drugs through. I'm not saying to keep on going, but God understands and just give God a shot. That would be the best advice because that's what I would tell my younger self.
Yeah. Give him a shot. Yeah. That's real. That's real because you really go through that one point where you just look at yourself and you're just like, I don't really like what the fuck's going on.
Yeah. No, for real.
It's like a really like, damn, like this shit don't look good. Yeah. And you really have to like really dive deep into yourself and really pull out that ugly shit and be like, okay, I don't like the smell of this. I don't like the way it looks, but it has to be done. Yeah. It has to be done. Because like you said, you were doing this before you were like
my gosh, I could only imagine if I would have like got introduced to coke with my industry friends. Oh my gosh, I probably wouldn't even be sitting here right now. Like, that's how I really feel. Because whenever I was on drugs, because after the coke, I think I started doing pills every day. Like,
which ones?
All of them?
All of them don't even matter.
Pills, pills. I really liked like MDMA pills, like not ecstasy. I was on the Teslas. Yeah. Oh my gosh, we're popping 4 or 5 Teslas. Yeah, for no reason though. Like for no reason. Not even at a party. Just in the crib popping pills with girls, just going crazy. So I just thank God that I'm sitting here getting to tell this. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you're here because, like you said, I haven't seen you since 2019 on the radio show I had.
Yeah.
So to see you now and to see you in this new light, like I said, like I always give flowers when flowers are due. It makes me
Thank you.
extremely happy to see somebody like in their most authentic form, living like their true purpose
Thank
and
you.
really loving themselves.
Thank
Because
you.
I can really tell like you're really loving yourself right
Thank
now
you.
in like this new light.
Thank you.
Because you've been out here for a whole decade plus, going up doing music.
Thank you.
How do you feel about where you're at now musically and just everything, just being around for a whole decade plus now?
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? One thing I realized was, I think in life, if you could do something once, you can do it twice.
Mhm.
And the reason why I even got to where I'm at is because I've just always believed in myself. And even when I took the 5 years off, I didn't take it off and think like, oh, I won't be able to get back to where I'm at, because I know who I am spiritually. I could do anything I want, you know?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so the 5 years was really just my time for me just to heal. Because one thing I don't ever want to do is move before the season and end up far along and then dealing with all these mental issues, which is what happens with a lot of entertainers, you know? They get all the money, they get all the hype, they get all this, but then behind closed doors, they're super insecure. They're not happy. They're just depressed. Or they're not insecure, but that too, but paranoid. I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I want to be healed, and then I want to win, and then
Yeah.
I just want to like fizzle out somewhere rich. Like that's my plan. I don't even care to be on the scene for a long time. I just want to hit a hit that's gonna open them doors, and then I'll continue to evolve. Maybe next I'll be doing real estate, and I'll just sell houses to all my billionaire friends now, and then I'll sign people under me, and I believe in God, so I'll be a light in the industry.
Yeah. You're already a CEO, but I can see you for sure, just like going about these artists going crazy.
Thank you. I would love to do that.
Are you doing it now? You thought about doing that?
So I help artists.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm like a CEO yet, because I feel like my main focus has to be me right now.
Yeah.
Only until I get to where I'm going. Because when you try to juggle too many things at one time, sometimes you don't put enough energy into one thing. And if I'm helping somebody, I want to be able to really put energy into them. I don't want to hold anyone back because I'm more focused on Indika, that I'm helping you, but kind of not really, you know?
Yeah.
I'd rather just put all my energy into Indika, and once that business succeeds, then I'll be on a higher playing field to where I can just be like, okay, let me sign you. Okay, you, Lil Wayne, let's put you on a track.
Yeah.
And it's just a phone call away, you know?
Yeah, because one thing I think you learned too is during that 5 years, like you said, you can get back to any point you want to, but you didn't have like that feeling of like, oh no, like I'm not creating, I'm not dropping. Because I mean, me and Ray had this conversation, like you weren't creating from a place of scarcity.
Right.
You know what I mean? You were creating from a place that was like pure, that was deep, like in your gut, that you knew that was always going to be there.
Yeah.
So when you just need to take that time, it's really good you took that time.
Right.
Because now when you feel like you're burning out or fizzling out, you can now be like, okay,
yeah,
let me take a step back.
Exactly.
Because did you even like taking step backs like that at one point?
No. At one point, I was burning myself out. I'm like, I'm everywhere. Any hype is, I'm going to be there. You know, I'm going to be in that room. And I realized, like, look at who you are. Your presence matters. Stand in your authority. You know, everything you want will come to you. You don't have to chase after nothing. It's going to chase you. And then once I started thinking like that, it all started chasing me, you know?
No, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because when you're in the chase, you really don't realize like how fast you're moving and how dumb you look sometimes.
Can I get in that row? Just to be standing next to somebody, who cares? You know, you could be in the same position, just work.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about you
at all.
Yeah, they don't. And and if they do, it's not for maybe a good intention.
It's not for a good reason, exactly. Especially with me being a female, it's not for a good reason. Unless, because I don't want to say that, because I have came across artists that just show me love, like Dex, Rich the Kid, Lil B. So when it's supposed to happen, it'll happen. But for the most part, it's better to just do the work yourself. Put yourself in a position so that other people want to position themselves around you.
Yeah, exactly. To where you don't have to fiend to be around someone that you really don't like.
Right.
Or even want to be.
Right.
Because when you say you want to be like this person, sometimes you really don't know, like you said, what they're going behind closed doors. Because they could have anxiety, or they can look at themselves and not like themselves.
Right.
Like they could, you could think they can be the coolest nigga ever, and then he don't even like himself.
Right. And I think just being in the position that I'm in, or like having to have been around like Dex, and he took me around pretty much everybody that's in the industry right now.
Yeah. So
seeing these people, and I'm like, Trippie Red's right here, we're all right here, and seeing how regular people are, it just kind of takes away the whole razzle dazzle a little bit anyways. You know, these are just regular ass people that are just a little bit further than you. That's it. That's literally it. It's
or just got a hit.
Or just got a hit. Exactly.
That's really all it is.
Yeah.
Or they're, or people don't know this either. There's a lot of people who are related to a lot of people in
oh
this
my
industry
gosh,
as well.
that's the crazy part. Everyone is cousins. Like, how?
Yeah. Or that's just someone whoop-de-whoop's cousin.
Yeah.
That uncle is just the CEO of that.
Yeah.
That you don't know about.
Or they're Jewish.
Or they're Jewish.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. There's only so many things.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're alive.
Thank you.
I'm glad that you're smiling.
Thank you.
Talk about getting your smile back. How was that?
Man, getting my smile back. Amazing. You know what? I got my smile back in like my lowest point in my life, which was when I was homeless. And that was really when I started binge watching church and just crying and crying and crying. I had no car. I had no money. I was broke as shit. Like literally applying for EBT, not, on the wait list and shit, like couch surfing. And so I had nothing to do, nowhere to go. My phone was off, only worked on Wi-Fi. So one thing I did have was a laptop. And I would sit in the room and watch TD Jakes for like 6-7 hours every day. And at first because I'm just like, I'm at rock bottom. I'm already hearing voices like, I don't want to be here anymore. Once you start feeling like that, it's like, okay, my back's against the wall. Let's just give this a try. And my parents both believe in God, even though at that point in life, I wouldn't say they were the best representatives, but they're still good people. No one is perfect though,
Mm-hmm.
But when you have parents that you don't really respect and then they believe in one thing, you want to go the opposite way. You want to rebel naturally. It's like, okay, you're saying to believe in God, but you treat me horrible. So I had that type of mindset. But once I was like kicked out and I was feeling kind of suicidal and just empty, at that point I had already done coke and been addicted, got over it, done a bunch of drugs. I just started watching church. And when I first would watch it, like spiritually, I would reject it without realizing it, because the first thing I would do is go to sleep. Like I'll put it on and then fall asleep. Could never pay attention. It was like something about me was bothered without me even realizing it. And then one day I was just watching this one message and it was basically talking about rejection. Just cried. And after that day, I kept watching it. I kept growing in the spirit. Next thing you know, I'm happy. I'm smiling. And you know what? While I was homeless, it didn't even last for a long time. That's the crazy part. I went from being homeless to living in Hollywood in a high rise. Like that. I'm like, what? Got a new car, got a high rise where I could look out the window and see the Hollywood sign at the top in the penthouse. Like it was a 2-year transition, and that was where I grew my faith. It just all happened for me just so naturally, and it wasn't me, and I would never take the credit. It was all, glory be to God, like for sure. Like everything just started opening. I started getting sponsorships. I started having money coming from every direction. I was able to buy a car. Just everything just changed in my life. It was like I went from my lowest to my highest, and now I'm still elevating as we speak.
You went from your lowest to living in a high rise?
Yeah. I know, bro.
Man, ain't that funny? That shit is funny. God, universe, that shit, they I love them. They have a sense of humor. Definitely have a sense of humor. Cause
sure.
Yeah, you're in your lowest point, and now you're in a high rise looking over the mountains, looking at the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
That is definitely a message.
Yeah.
And what was that message to you think?
In that moment, I realized that nothing is in my control, and to just appreciate every moment. And I think that was just a huge humbling moment for me, because now that I'm living where I live, I'm still very humble, I don't think I'm better than nobody. No matter how much money I get, I still just appreciate life. And I realized during that transition that we live life and we have so much expectations of ourselves, but I really don't think when God put us here, he intended for us to live the way we do, the way we're just like, I have to have this career, I have to be married. I think we all are individuals, and we should follow our journey and just be the best version that we can be, and just be good to each other.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when we do that, we realize things aren't really as complex sometimes as we make it.
Right. I know, right? But it's crazy because so many people are just so programmed and just stuck in this way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, to make tracks, I have to have this and I have to have that. And it's not that deep. Just enjoy life. And if you're content, that's all that matters. Some people are going to be high. Some people aren't going to go as high. It doesn't matter. It's just whatever you're happy with,
Yeah, as long as you're really content and happy with where you're at. Like,
exactly.
Like, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Like, it is what it is.
For sure.
And we realize we're deprogramming every day.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The deprogramming has begun.
Yeah.
And you have deprogrammed.
For sure. And the crazy part is I never really felt programmed.
Yeah.
I felt like even as a kid, I always just stuck out. I was always different. I always thought different. Because truthfully, like growing up, I'll be honest, like, most rappers try to just, I come from the slums. I don't. My dad's a doctor. Yeah. So, I lived in a big ass house, but I was always the black sheep. I was always the one that knew that shit didn't matter. Like my backyard is a gigantic pool. Like we live in the hills. I knew that stuff didn't matter. And I was very different from my family. Always, my entire life. So when I got thrown out to nothing, I think even in that moment, that's why nothing mattered to me where I was, because even when I was in a big house, it didn't matter to me. So going from that to going to nothing, it still didn't matter, because what matters is what's in my heart, what's in my soul. Yeah, it's just but my spirit. That's all that matters. Beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. And we are here in 2025.
2025.
Man, still here.
Still here.
Seeing you fucking 6 years later.
I know.
I feel good to be here 6 years later, still interviewing cool individuals, beautiful souls. What can we expect for like 2025 musically? So we've been talking about life, but what's going on with this music though?
So musically, I have a new single coming out called Tuh. Like Tuh. When people are being cocky, they're like Tuh.
Yeah.
It's called Tuh. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little flex song, but my spirit. I'm pure.
Yeah,
so
sure.
The music might be a little bit different, but it's really just to uplift. It's to make people feel confident. When people listen to my music, one thing I want them to feel is themselves. Feel good about yourself, because you should. You're awesome. You're one of one. There's only one you. God created you with purpose and intention. So I want people, when they listen to me, to just feel good. And so I have a single called Tuh coming out with a crazy video. Now this video, you probably seen clips or
the one where you're like
floating in the. I have been working on this video for 3 years.
Okay.
I've hired 2 separate cameramen and fired both because I didn't like it. Spent over $12,000 on this music video. This final person, I paid $4,000 this year. Video is almost done. I just texted them yesterday. They're working on it. And so this is my newest single called Tuh, and I have a lot of faith in this song. When you just feel something, I feel it with this one. I'm still, and that's why I didn't want to mention the artists that try to sign me. They're still in my DMs. They're still calling and checking on me. I could have went to the Grammys. I didn't go, but I did go to Shabuzi's Grammy party, and Kanye and Justin LaBoy.
Oh yeah, shouts out to the homegirl DJ that for sure.
For Shabuzi?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's the homegirl.
What's her name?
I think Rad, DJ Rad.
Okay.
Yeah. Shouts out there. I think she was DJing that one.
That's what's up. Yeah, so I went to those. And see, that's the amazing part. And that's why I say you could take a step away. It does not change anything when you are who you are. I'm like, I don't even know Shabuzi. That was the first time ever hearing his name. I got invited personally. And I went. It was like a guest list. I went. Everything lit. And that just reminded me, like, that's why you are who you are.
Who the fuck you are.
Yeah, you know who the fuck you are. So I'm like, 2025 is going to be awesome. You are that nigga. We outside. So 2025, I have Tuh coming. I will be in Texas performing for South by Southwest, which is next month. Yeah. Yep. I got booked for 2 shows so far. I'm still accepting more. So I'll be in Texas next month, just doing a promo run. And as soon as I get back, I'll be dropping the song, the video, and then I have a project in the works. So I'm excited.
What can we expect from this project?
Oh my goodness, just a lot of energy.
Yep,
a lot of energy.
I'm already knowing that.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, and then rather than South by Southwest, no like other shows, no mini tour, no big tour, just.
You know what? Right now I'm just taking it day by day. Yeah. Because somebody actually did try to put me on a tour, but I think I want to move with intention this year. And I want to wait because I know that if I wait and I push a song as far as I could push it, and then I bring in my artist friend and they help me with that, I could charge what I want rather than just accepting what's offered.
Yeah.
So I just want to really focus on the release of this song and pushing it as hard as possible, and then go from there. Because who knows? That could be my hit. I can end up having a $70,000 tour instead of accepting something just because I want to go travel, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, more purposeful.
Yeah.
More bands.
For sure.
More sense.
Yeah, I'm getting older. I'm like, if I'm gonna be popping out anywhere, I need some money now.
Yeah.
Like, it's time.
If it don't make money, it don't make sense. DJ Quick knew
Exactly.
what the fuck he was talking about.
Yeah. Facts.
But no, that's really good though, because like you said, you've already been waiting for 5 years, so
Yeah.
you already mastered your patience.
For sure.
So what's another more time to plot? So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see what 2025 has for you.
Thank you.
If we're looking further, anything going into 2026, or we're just looking right now in this year right now?
Right now, we're just focusing on 2025.
Got you.
Once the song is a hit, we'll come back and talk about what's next.
Yes. So once again, yo, I really appreciate you just coming on the show and just bringing in your new light and your new energy, because we can watch the interview we did from 6 years ago and then watch this one, and just the growth, the maturity, and just honestly the happiness that you have right now
Thank you.
is just really amazing. And I'm really happy to see this, and I'm really excited to see all the amazing things that you have going on.
Thank you so much.
Yes, for sure. I appreciate you, Indika.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yo, this is Nappy 2000. This is the Bong Talk Sit-Down Series, and we will see you soon. Thank you guys for tuning in to Bong Talk. You can either watch or stream this on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. And also, thank you to all the sponsors of